Good day po. My name is Jayza H. Mamak, a Bachelor of Science in Social Work student, third year. Today, in this video, I will be presenting my social case study report entitled Online Sexual Abuse and Exploitation of Children, the case of Nika. This case is hypothetical and was developed solely for educational purposes. It is based on the theme of child protection, highlighting the Makabata Helpline 1383. So, first, let's dive into the essential facts of the case. The client, using the pseudonym Nika, is a 13-year-old grade 7 student. The case was referred through the Makabata Helpline 1383 after a neighbor reported suspected online sexual abuse and exploitation. A rescue operation followed, and the client was placed under the protective custody of the DSWD. Next, within the family, chronic financial hardship, disrupted family functioning, and the alleged involvement of the primary caregiver, her mother, Nika's mother, created an unsafe environment for the client. So in terms of education, her school attendance and participation declined noticeably during the period of the alleged exploitation. Within the community, a vigilant neighbor responsibly reported the incident. Developmentally, the client demonstrated age-appropriate functioning before the crisis. Despite these challenges, the assessment identified several strengths, including her cooperative behavior and the willingness of her maternal aunt to provide support. The client was found to have normal development during the incident, but now shows signs of trauma, guilt, and emotional distress while remaining cooperative and resilient. The main concern is protecting her from continued online sexual abuse and addressing its psychological and family impacts. Her environment was affected by poverty and weak family support, but protective resources are now involved. The assessment found extreme risk to the client's physical safety and high psychological and family risk due to trauma and family instability. Social functioning and education were rated moderate, while the risk of revictimization remains high, especially through online platforms. Next, let's go first to the immediate intervention. So it focuses on safety through protective custody, crisis intervention, medical care, psychosocial first aid, and law enforcement coordination. Next one is the short-term interventions. These include trauma, counseling, psychosocial assessment, a home study of the maternal aunt, and school coordination. The last one is the long-term interventions, which aim to support recovery, community reintegration, regular monitoring, family assessment when appropriate, and continued digital safety. So these interventions are designed to support the client's recovery while prioritizing her best interest and long-term well-being. As a future social worker, this case strengthened my understanding of the person and environment perspective and reinforced the importance of evidence-based assessment in child protection practice. It also emphasized that effective intervention requires collaboration among social workers, psychologists, law enforcement agencies, educators, and community stakeholders. Most importantly, I learned that professional social work practice demands objectivity, ethical decision making, respect for human dignity, and unwavering commitment to protecting the best interest of every child. So the assessment and intervention presented in this case were supported by relevant social work theories, Philippine laws, professional ethical standards, and scholarly references cited in accordance with the APA 7th edition guidelines. So this concludes my social case presentation. Thank you for your time and attention in watching and listening about my case study report. That's all.